I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!
Hey there champs, welcome back to another round of Manny's Boxing World. And in today's round, we're going to be talking about a potential matchup between Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder and how their negotiations are going back and forth on social media. And we're going to be talking about that next. But before that guys, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out the subscription button. That way you never see it again. And ding the notification bell. That way you never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding, ding.
Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ!
Alright guys, let's get started. We were promised a mega fight showdown between Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilder sometime during this September. Okay guys, Andy Ruiz created history a few years ago by defeating Anthony Joshua by knockout and being the first heavyweight Mexican boxer born from Mexico to win the titles. Alright guys, Deontay Wilder sent Andy Ruiz a contract worth for $5 million plus pay-per-view revenue, which I believe is going to be $2 to $3 million more, so $7 to $8 million for the whole contract. That's what I believe. Okay guys, Andy Ruiz turned down the fight and he said the risk is not worth the reward. And I don't really blame Andy Ruiz for turning down the fight because Deontay Wilder has crazy power and he only needs one punch to knock you out. And Ruiz does get hit. But guys, now that Andy Ruiz did not take the fight, everybody's going to be talking smack just like Crawford, and they're going to be saying this about Ruiz.
I heard you running from my ass with...
Guys, I believe this is a really big fight and we'll do a lot of big pay-per-view numbers because they're both really good fighters and they both have star power and there are big names. And with the right promotion, they could do pretty big numbers, but you got to sell it right. Guys, check this out. John Ruiz was the first ever Latin American heavyweight champion, Mexican, right? And then Andy Ruiz is the first Mexican heavyweight champion, and they're both last name is Ruiz. I don't know if they're related. Guys, Andy Ruiz's team said that they want the same deal as Wilder, but I do believe that Wilder is the A side and Ruiz is the B side, but Ruiz is still a pretty big name, so I mean, yeah. Alright guys, let me refresh my memory. I do believe that Andy Ruiz was the last replacement for Anthony Joshua and he knocked out Anthony Joshua in that fight. And then later after, I guess they had a rematch and Anthony Joshua beat Andy Ruiz. So guys, but when Andy Ruiz came in on the second fight, he was almost 300 pounds and wasn't training right. And I believe that's why he lost to Anthony Joshua. But Andy Ruiz, that's 300 pounds. I think that's more than, what's it called, Fury, how much he weighs. Guys, I personally don't believe it should be a 50-50 split. But sometimes you have to give the fighter what they ask for. Because if you see the Spence versus Terence Crawford negotiations, the fight was not going to happen if Errol Spence didn't agree to all of Crawford's demands. And sometimes you have to do that or no fight. I know Andy Ruiz's team said that they don't do it for the money, and I believe they offered him 65-35, which I believe that's very low because Andy Ruiz is still Andy Ruiz. So I mean, yeah, I personally believe 65-35 is very low. He's not Avanesian, he's Andy Ruiz. So I think it should be like 60-40 or 50-50. I mean, if you probably don't give this guy 50-50, he probably won't take the fight, and you don't have the fight either, Wilder. So. But I also believe that Andy Ruiz does want the fight and he does want the smoke, but 60-40, I mean 65-35 is pretty much a slap in the face, I believe. But I do believe that Andy Ruiz does want the smoke. I think the 50-50 split is just so he could get closer to more money and he would take the fight. I mean, I think it's just strategy, basically saying 50-50, but they'll accept probably less, maybe 55-45. I'm not sure. I'm not them. I'm not their team, but I think that's what it is. I mean, I don't see any boxer trying to duck any smoke. Guys, but I am a really big fan of boxing, and without boxers there will be no boxing. So I mean, I really do want to see this fight. It is a really huge fight. It's going to be enormous, and I just can't wait. If they do make the fight, it's going to be a good one, but I have Wilder TKO or KOing Ruiz. Okay guys, but I do hope that they both do come to an agreement because I really do want to see this fight. It's going to be a really big fight. You know, Andy Ruiz versus Wilder, that's a huge fight, you know, just saying the name. And I wish both of them the best of luck, but if they do fight, I hope it's an all-time classic, just like this.
Then you can punch each other's ceiling.
Okay. Alright then, champs, that's all I really have for you guys today. But before I go, if you guys ain't subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you never see it again. And ding the notification bell. That way you never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, the round is over. Ding, ding.